Updates on the FIFA World Cup taking place in Qatar for the 2022 session. Which are the countries celebrating? Which are the countries still hoping that their next match is going to be a victory for them? And of course, they are going to make their various country proud. We talk that without talking about, we talk that and we talk about Senegal, who is making Africa so proud, the first African country to ever make it at the FIFA tournament there in Qatar 2022 session. Yes, Senegal backs Africa its first win at the World Cup with a dominant display against the host country, Qatar. That's three goals to one. Host Qatar had just one and Senegal had three, and we say congratulations. A favored result on the final match. That's the final match day against them. There's Ecuador, sorry, we sent the Teranga Lions with the kick out. When we talk about that, we also talk how Cameroon, people were having hopes of Cameroon so high, thinking that Cameroon was going to put the flag of Africa so high. But to their greatest dismay, this did not take place. But then, a sport journalist, Ade Divine, did talk about this issue on an interview on CMTV, where he recounts a situation which took place in 2010. In his words, he said, in 2010, Switzerland beat Spain 1-0, and that was their first match. And Spain eventually emerged as champion of the 2010 World Cup. He did recount this incident which took place in 2010, and he said, in 2022, Cameroon, to win the title once again, has beaten the Switzerland 1-0 in the first group game. And what do you think about it? Do you think the Divine's analysis can be true, that due to the fact that in 2010 Switzerland had a 1-0 to 0 with that's their opposite play, and of course Cameroon is having the same, that's 1-0 with the same Switzerland. Maybe they are going to be coming back home with the trophy. Of course, we talk about Brazil to pass Zambia with a dominant display at the stadium, noting that they ended the game with 2-0 win over Zambia in the final game of the first round. It should be noted that the Zambia provided a very little threat to 5 times world champions, and we are almost at the pedestal throughout the entire game. We talk that, and we also talk about Brazil having 2-0 win, places them top of the group H game, with Cameroon directly leaving the 4th spot to the 3rd base of the gold differences. Cameroon meets Zambia next week, so we are looking forward to their next match, and that marks the end of what has been very exciting for the game. But we talk also about Portugal having 3 and Ghana having 2, noting that Africans were very excited when Ghana had 2, and they were hoping that this game was not only going to be like that, but Ghana was going to put the flag of Africa so high. But to their greatest dismay, Portugal won the match. And we talk how Ghana, on the other hand, was winless in their first 5 matches at the World Cup. That is 2 draws and 3 losses, while the Black Stars have lost 3 of their 4 opening games at the tournament, winning only 1, Qatar 2022. And of course, this win means that Portugal had won their opening game at the World Cup finals for the first time in 4 attempts. They had just 2 draws and 1 loss. In addition, Portugal's victory marked their 5th successive game without defeat at the African side at the World Cup. That is 4 wins and 1 draw. It should be noted that we also talk how South Korea and Uruguay games ended in draw position. Yes, and still on that, we also talk how Embolo's mother stated that people should leave the son alone. In her words, leave my child alone, leave Embolo alone. When the Swiss took and trained him, where was Cameroon? You should instead talk about your own players, a national team where you have to pay money before you can be caught up. Leave Embolo alone. That's Germaine Embolo, the mother of Brio Embolo, who scored against Cameroon, warned the population to leave the son alone and stop insulting the son. When we also talk about that, we talk how England had a 0 goal and the USA had 0 in their own matches. Only 6 shots on target from England, and this result leaves the group open with any of the 4 teams capable of qualifying for the next round. And of course, Netherlands had draw with Ecuador. That's the game ends in a draw between the Dutch and the South Americans, where the result means no single team so far has qualified for the knockouts yet after 2 games. The next, we have England versus US coming up very strong, so we are looking up for their next match. And when we talk about that, we also talk how the staff of the Indomitable Lions have decided to hold a pre-match conference against Zebra in a vision conference. Thus, as per Kanatu reports, Rico Benson will not be face-to-face in the front of the press, but rather in a video conference. And this implies that the questions from journalists will simply be filtered and sorted out. Why such move? Are they scared of questions from population or from the media? Why you are thinking that we believe that in the days ahead, those questions will be answered if the Indomitable Lions coach is scared of the media questions, or this is just a strategic move for the population not to know what is being discussed and not to know the plans ahead, so they can as well give us surprises by bringing us the trophy back here in Cameroon. But then we look forward to the match which will be taking place between Cameroon and Zambia. We are hoping that this time around Cameroon will not let us down, but they will keep the flag of Cameroon and of course that of Africa so high. And that article brings us to the end of today's edition of our live newscast. We say thank you so much for your keen attention. Thank you for watching. Please, we encourage you to follow us live at our YouTube channel. Follow us for more information, for more updates, which is a CMTV Buzz. We say thank you to Madam Christine Nabila, who was touching the 1001 button. We say thank you to Mr. Fozo Oliver, who also assisted us technically. General supervision came in from Bobe Kwanchamba. For presentation, I was Gracious Berinyu. Till we meet again, keep watching CMTV.